All right, welcome back to the Boxing Politic. We had a extremely successful night of boxing this past weekend, where the Charlo brothers both passed their test. Jermall fighting Sergey Deryevchenko, and Jermell becoming a unified champion, overcoming Jason Banana Rosario. We'll be discussing an overview of both fights, and a then I'll do something specifically for each fighter, what they have next in an upcoming video or recording. So just stay tuned, and like I said, this is the Boxing Politic. All right, so covering the night, uh, an excellent card. It was an excellent card from top to bottom. Each fight was exciting. They they had the lower weight fights like with Louis Neary and Brandon Figueroa, which were high level fights. I'm not a fan of the the tiny weights, the 122s, pretty much down to like 108. That doesn't interest me at all. But I could see high skill level, very offensive fighting in those fights. That's the thing that usually gets to me about those. They last for a very long time because no one that's 122 pounds, or especially like 115 or 108, can really hurt someone else, even at their same size. So it's very high impact, but not damaging. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the subject at hand. We had two excellent fights, two excellent main events. So we'll go in order, starting with Jermall Charlo with Sergey Deryevchenko. Jermall Charlo overcame Deryevchenko clearly. The first person you can actually say that with. His other losses were questionable at best, controversial, or some of them, especially in the case of like Golovkin, people were saying that he was the actual winner. That decision got booed by the crowd. It was it was pretty egregious the way it was ruled, because pretty much after the third round, Deryevchenko really started to impose himself, and he got the better action. I actually thought he won that fight, but when he came into the ring with Jermall Charlo, he got off to a better start because generally he was knocked down in the first round of both Daniel Jacobs and Gennady Golovkin's fight, but that didn't happen. I believe it could have happened because when Charlo hit him, I think he cut him with a straight right. It made him do. He showed some stuff. That was cool. It was cool the way he fell back. He had to catch his balance and everything and avoided putting his hand on the ground, glove on the ground. He maintained his awareness to know that that would have been a knockdown, despite the fact that he was hurt at the time, and he maintained his balance well, keeping it from becoming a 10-8 round. So you got to give kudos to that. That shows craftiness, that shows skill and awareness. So you have to give it to Deryevchenko there. He tried different things. He was able to jab with Charlo at times, but yeah, he put on a great performance, and I think he showed himself better than he did in other fights. But in this one, he definitely came up short. Charlo's jab was there all night. It was concussive, just like I said in my prediction. That jab would be there. It would be his effective tool to set everything else up. He was setting up off that jab well. That straight right was there. Um, he would hook off it. I actually like that left hook. He could jab and then turn it into the left hook coming around the guard. I've even saw him do a jab left hook and then turn it into an uppercut. So it was crazy to be able to throw a three-punch combo with the same hand and catch with most of the shots on it. So that was something next level that we haven't seen out of Charlo. I mean, we've always seen that uppercut and jab, but we never seen them put together so effectively in combinations. And you can just keep seeing the development. I mean, his defense was all the way there. It was much better than what we saw in the Korobov fight. I compare Korobov because, um, he's still fighting that Eastern European style, just like Deryevchenko. Um, I know that fight had I kind of put an asterisk by it because of the situation leading into it. But yeah, when you saw that, I saw like just effective defensive measures. I saw that improvement because he was slipping punches, getting out the way. He would pull back, despite what I don't know if it was Berenstein or which one of the guys or Mares they were talking about. He was pulling straight back. He really wasn't. He would turn. He would turn when he would slip going left and right, and he would actually turn out of the way of the punches. So I don't know why they kept saying he was pulling straight back. That's not what we saw there. And when the fight got close in close quarters, we saw those uppercuts just going into Deryevchenko. He was really putting it on him. So yeah, I believe that he showed something to the entire division that night, and he showed why the names in the division don't really want to see him. They don't want to see. They don't want to have to deal with that. You got a guy who he was a giant in that ring, so he's a giant at 160. Coming up from 54, that's something because he was. You got people who started there at 160 like Jacobs and Golovkin and everything, and I believe Charlo would tower over those guys. He was huge at the weight, defensively sound at the weight. Powerful at the weight. Also, he was yeah, he's gonna come in there as the bigger, more athletic guy who can who has I would say the better accuracy, and he was able to show some things on defense with like upper body movement. And I think he's more than a challenge for everyone at the division. Right now, I say he's the best at the division. People might think, you just slave of the moment because, you caught up in the hype right now because it was a good performance. But I've been, well, the show's recent, but this has been my opinion for a while. When he came up, I thought he would be effective. I thought the only one who would give him a challenge was Demetrius Andrade, but Andrade isn't looking. I can't really measure him based on the competition level that he's had. Like, there seems to be a concerted effort to keep him away from great competition, and I think he's in on it because he is fighting nobody, and the closest chance he had was Saunders, and that went by the wayside. So, what can you say? Next up, so yeah, that's how I feel about Jermall Charlo. His career's looking bright. He was dominant. These guys they're 30. They're touching their prime, and they're showing new wrinkles in the game. Both of them are. Jermall showed you there, and what Jermell did with Jason Rosario was just as interesting, just as amazing. Because I was frustrated in that fight, and I was frustrated because I was like, man, you can go get this guy. You've hurt him. He hurt him in the first round, put him down with like a left hook off the top of the head, just that quick. He showed him right then that like, yeah, I can do this at any time. That's the craziest thing to me. At any time, he could really just hurt Rosario, but he wasn't pressing, and he had Rosario who was pretty much following him around, and like I've said to other people were saying that Rosario's a pressure fighter, and I said he's not. If you revisit my prediction, I said he's a counterpuncher. He's a counterpuncher, but he keeps his hands at home until you like kind of let off, and then he it's like my turn, your turn when it comes to his offense. So yeah, and he made Jermell kind of made him play that pressure role, and he was walking towards him, just following him all night. And when Jermell wanted to, he put his hands on him and knocked him down, like hurt him every time. So it was getting to me because I'm like, man, I know how you fight, and you can go in there and you can just take this dude out like it's nothing. and he wasn't doing it. But that actually shows a lot of maturity in his game plan, where that's how he usually fights. He usually fights, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna bust you upside the head, get you up out of there. And he decided to stick to the plan. Yeah, he might lose around here too, but we got a game plan. We do things a certain way, and he stuck to it, and he got the result he needed without taking any substantial damage. He was working the body well, and I said, Banana doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the stamina like that. So as it got later, the susceptibility to a KO was there just by tiring him out and everything. But Jermell was able to keep effectively landing on him, hitting him in the hitting him at will at a certain point, and then taking him out with a shot that he didn't even intend to take him out with. That is that's pretty amazing, you know. That jab to the stomach, taking him out like that, was something I had never seen. I don't think anybody's ever seen that before. I think he said it in the post fight interview that this is something he's never seen. Nobody else is doing that, and they're not. So that combination, that jab upstairs, jab downstairs, to take him out, that's something I think he's really picked up more by going to Coach James. What they got over there, they got something special in that gym that him and Spencer's at. They got something special over at Ronnie Shields' gym. So these guys are learning and developing. Boxing in Texas is, boxing live in Texas right now, man. It lives in the South, but it's like, if it live in the South, its house, its room in the house is Texas. So we got to give them that. And these guys, he just going back to Jermell, he showed that he's the number one at that division. He the king of the division. I guess he needs to get that WBO from Patrick Teixeira. He gets that, it's over with. He can just reign over his division, or he can take it to the next level and go up to 160. But they not feeding his brother right at 160. They're gonna try to do the same to him. So it is what it is, man. But this guy, sky's the limit right now. I know he's signed himself up. I mean, he's a pound for pound fighter right now. There's no avoiding that. Him and his brother. So right now, I would say Spence and the two Charlos, both of them have solidified themselves in the top 5 pound for pound. You can find some people to sprinkle in there around them, but top 5, maybe top 6, unless you want to find a way to put some combination of Canelo, Lomachenko, and Crawford in there. You know, I really think that these guys have solidified themselves in that position. Especially Jermell, his resume as a late. I mean, he's got, not even as a late. His resume is one of the deepest in the sport. They say they ain't fought nobody. People like say that, but these guys, they definitely have, and Jermell definitely has, because his resume is probably one of the deepest in the sport. It's full of tough fights, it's full of those guys who you have to be extremely consistent. That's why I don't worry about him fighting the toughest fights in the division. He has to. It looks like what's his name? Lubin's gonna be a mandatory again. It doesn't matter. He can go in there and he can take that fight and he'll do it again, because Charlo's very consistent at this point, and that comes from fighting those type of guys back to back to back to back. So you have that. I don't really see anybody taking their crowns for a while. So they're in their prime, they're at their peak. Now it's time to get bread off of it. So that's where I'll sign off here. I do a video or a recording breaking down the fights a little bit more. But yeah, this has been the Boxing Politic. Y'all keep checking in, stay subscribed, and I'll get up with you. Peace.